got a challenge for you. I want you to think back to Instagram exactly 1 year ago, and I want you to think about all of the ways in which it's changed, because the app has gone through so many changes as of late, and my predictions are that it's going to continue to experience a lot of changes through the duration of 2023. So I thought I'd kick off this year, Happy New Year by the way, with my trend predictions for Instagram. And this video will also include a sneak peek at some of the features that they're testing as well that I think are going to be released later on this year. Before we get started though, if you enjoy content like this, please hit the subscribe button. I'm trying to get to that 100k, and I upload content every single week that I'm just sure you're gonna love. You're gonna love it. Okay, so my first prediction is that Instagram are going to lean more heavily into authenticity. Now, I would love to take credit and just say that I've looked into the future and guessed that this is gonna happen, but that would be a lie, because Instagram have actually been testing 2 new features which are very much telling me point blank that they are moving into the authenticity space. Now, let me just start off by explaining what I mean. There has been a broad shift towards authenticity on social media, and it's been going on for like a year or so now. And what I'm referring to when it comes to authenticity on social media is like the more unedited, less aesthetic content that's a bit raw, that's captured with a shaky hand, that's just very like real, right? And something what really proves this social shift has been happening has been the popularity of a new social media app called Be Real. Now, if you're not familiar with what Be Real is, it's essentially an application which sends notifications to its users, and when you receive the notification, you should take a photo of what you're seeing and of yourself. So you use both cameras and you share it with the people who follow you as a way to give an insight into what you're actually doing at any given time. So the idea is that you don't have an opportunity to curate this perfect life. You just have to capture what you're doing when you get the notification. Hence the name Be Real, and hence the fact that it's playing into this idea of authenticity. Now, the reason why I think Instagram are going to make new changes so that it can keep up with this like social shift is because they are currently testing 2 features, so they've not been released yet, but 2 features which really support this theory. The first is called Glimpse. I've actually spoken about a similar feature to this on Instagram in one of my previous videos, and it's quite literally Be Real. Glimpse is Be Real on Instagram on your stories. So the idea is that you get a notification sharing what you're seeing and what you look like, and you share it to your stories, right? So they'll be categorized as a glimpse story. So as I mentioned, Instagram kind of started testing something similar to this recently. It was called IG Candid. As far as I'm aware, this is a version of that, but it's on your stories instead. Also, they are testing a new feature called Roll Call. Now, Roll Call is essentially a feature for group chats on Instagram where you can send out a roll call and everyone in the group chat has to send a photo or a video of what they're doing within like 5 minutes. So again, it's leaning into this idea of Instagram encouraging its users to share real, authentic content of what they're doing at any given time of the day. So I definitely think they're going to be releasing more features like that throughout 2023. My second trend prediction is that Instagram will be making moves to give creators more power. What I'm referring to here is specifically updates that Instagram are going to implement, hopefully, that will allow us creators to have more control over who sees our content. And the reason why I think that this is going to happen is because this has been one of the biggest complaints for Instagram in recent years, is that a lot of the creators, including myself, will notice that maybe our content isn't being shared to our right audience, or maybe it's not being shared at all. People are getting quite frustrated with the app. And with the introduction of more recent social media sites like TikTok, for example, which actually allow creators to reach quite a lot of people seemingly easier than they can on Instagram, it basically lights a bit of a fire under Instagram's arse, and it makes them think, okay, we've got to do something about this. What can we do which will help our creators feel like they're more in control over how many people get to see their content? Now, the feature that they've released which supports this trend prediction is their topics feature. Now, topics will basically allow us creators to identify what our content is about, which should hopefully mean that we have more control as to who is going to see our content. Because if I upload a post and I tell Instagram that this post is about fashion, hopefully what should happen is that that post will be seen by people who are interested in fashion. So it's essentially giving us control to manipulate the platform ever so slightly, and hopefully will allow us to reach more of our desired audience. So I hope they're going to release more features like that in the future, because I think that would be huge for all of us creators. Following on from that, I do think that Instagram are going to push quite heavily into the virality element of the platform. Now, what I'm referring to is our ability as creators to go viral. Reason why is because when we're able to go viral and basically be seen by a lot of people who don't already follow us, that is usually our quickest route to growing. Now, the more creators who are able to grow a following on Instagram, the more creators who will stay on Instagram. The more creators on Instagram, the more engaged the audience on Instagram are, because you need great creators on a platform in order for an audience to remain engaged. That's part of the reason why YouTube has always done well and never really wavered, because they have so many great creators on their platform. Myself included, no I'm kidding. Because YouTube pay their creators, right? So creators don't really leave their platform very often. Whereas Instagram and even TikTok potentially will have a problem at some point, because creators are more likely to give up on their platform if they feel like they're not getting any progress and they can't go viral. Now, again, let's use TikTok as an example. TikTok is like the GOAT when it comes to any creator's ability to go viral. Like, if you post enough on TikTok 3-5 times a day for a year, something's gonna go viral at some point. You cannot say the same thing for any other social media platform, right? Now, I hate to break it to you, but everyone's most hated feature on Instagram, which is the suggested posts. So you know when you're on your home feed and you get a photo or a video pop up and it says suggested posts on it, or it says something like, we're showing you this post because you follow XYZ. Those are suggested posts. So those are content that appear in our home feed from creators who we don't follow. A lot of people complained about this feature last year, including the Kardashians, which quickly sparked Instagram to pull back on this feature and actually share fewer suggested posts on people's home feed. Now, what you're not going to want to hear is we actually kind of need suggested posts. Now, hear me out. I believe that Instagram released their suggested post feature as a solution to the problem that I just described, that creators struggle to go viral on Instagram. If we share a post and it gets suggested to other people on their home feeds, that is what allows us to go viral. That is what allows us to reach more people. And that is what usually unlocks quite a lot of growth. So on the one hand, I think the users of Instagram don't like suggested posts. But if you're a creator on Instagram, that feature is potentially your ticket to a huge amount of growth and going viral. So I think that Instagram are going to continue to develop this feature. They're not going to give up on it. It still very much exists, but they're going to try and develop it so that the suggested posts they're sharing are more relevant to the audience, so that people don't get so annoyed by them. But I think this is going to be a really difficult thing for them to actually nail down, because the natural way that us users use Instagram is that we don't often want to see content from people we don't follow. So they're going to have to try and tackle that problem in order for suggested posts to really work. This next trend prediction I'm going to call more money, more problems. Now, there's a good side to this and there's a bad side to this. I believe that Instagram are going to continue and significantly fast track their commitment to helping creators earn a decent wage on the platform. The reason for this is similar to what I mentioned before. When creators on Instagram are paid fairly for their work, they are a lot less likely to leave. So Instagram are kind of scrambling with different monetization options. You've got the bonuses program, you've got Instagram subscriptions, and I do not think this is going to slow down. I think they're going to work on their bonus program. I think they're going to make it better. I think they're going to release Instagram subscriptions to everyone. At the moment of filming, it's only available to creators in the US. And more interestingly than anything else, I think they're going to launch a revenue share model for creators this year. What this means is that the money that Instagram earns from their advertisers, I think they're going to develop some kind of system which will allow their creators to earn some of that money. So they'll split the revenue that they make from their advertisers and they'll share it with their creators, which again is what YouTube currently do. That is how creators make a decent income on YouTube, is because they actually earn a percentage of all of the advertiser money that is paid into YouTube, right? In my opinion, the only way for creators to earn a decent income from a platform is using this model. This is the best model for creators to earn money. Anything what involves a revenue split. I've heard murmurings in the social media world that they've been testing different forms of this already. Nothing concrete that I can share with you today, but I really think and hope that they're going to release something later this year. Now, the negative side to this is the same for any platform, which is if you put all of your eggs in one basket. So let's say they release a new revenue share model and then we all get really excited. We start earning like, you know, a little bit of money from Instagram. What could happen is that a lot of us start to focus too heavily on this one platform and start to ignore the others. And it's really important that we never put all of our eggs in one basket when it comes to our ability to earn money as creators and entrepreneurs. We want to diversify their income. Even if you start making a good income from Instagram, which I'm really hoping that you do, that doesn't mean that you no longer need to create that ebook or you no longer need to do that membership you were going to do. Diversification is key because at the end of the day, even with a revenue share program, you will still be at the mercy of Instagram's algorithm when it comes to how much money you make. Okay, trend number 5 is that I think Instagram are going to heavily focus on Gen Z when it comes to any of the updates that they release, any of the changes they make from the platform. I think they're going to double down on Gen Z. Now, the reason why I think this is because they recently released their 2023 Instagram trend report, which I'll link to below. I know this because before filming, I thought, let me do some research as to what are people predicting for this year. Spoiler alert, all of the trends that I've included in this video have just come from me and like the information I know about Instagram. Because when I looked at Instagram's trend report, I was disappointed to realize that all of the information in the report was based on Gen Z. They had only interviewed Gen Z to pull all of these trends for the following year. Now, that is a clear sign to me that they are aware that Gen Z is really where it's at. As much as I don't want to admit it, because I'm quite clearly a millennial, that is where it's at when it comes to the growth of their platform and also when it comes to their ability to compete with the likes of TikTok, which really is home to the Gen Zers at the moment. Instagram want to take some of that market share back. They want to take some of their Gen Zers back. And as a result, I think they're going to focus very heavily on Gen Z. Now, I don't think this is a huge problem. And I also don't think it's a surprise. I think a lot of companies are going to do this because at the end of the day, they are the emerging generation. They are the ones with the spending power. Like, they're the ones that the marketers who are advertising on Instagram are trying to reach. Not everyone, obviously, just for the most part. So from a business perspective, the decision makes sense. I'm interested to see what impact this has because I believe, the last time I'd done some research on this, I believe the bulk of the users on Instagram are millennials because that was the platform that we had through like our formative years, whereas Gen Z, the platform that they had was like TikTok, right? So last time I checked, the bulk of the users on Instagram were millennials. So I'm interested to see what happens if this trend prediction comes true and they start to change their platform based on kind of data from Gen Zers. I'm interested to see if that alienates millennials in any way. I don't think it will, but honestly, I don't really know. I guess we'll just have to wait and see. Also, I'm not forgetting about the other generations here, by the way, because I know someone commented that on one of my videos before and I thought it was a really good point. It's not that I'm forgetting about other generations like Gen X or boomers. Obviously, there are Gen X and boomers on all of these social platforms as well. But from their perspective and their reporting, they tend to focus on the generations which make up most of their audience, which would be predominantly Gen Z and then millennials, depending on the platform that you're looking at. Okay, I hope you guys found that useful. I'm really excited to see if all of my trends come true. If they do, then like, do I win an award or something? Is there like a present someone can give me? Maybe some money? I don't know, I'm not fussy. So if you enjoyed this video, I really recommend sticking around and watching this video. It's all about how you can actually grow on social media in the year 2023. It's really worth watching. I reckon I'm going to share some stuff with you that you potentially haven't even thought about before. Thank you so much for watching. As always, I cannot wait to see you in my next video.